Rozy back with you. This is another recorded session, but this is going to be resistance training number 2. So if you want to go back, so what we're doing is building up a library that you can use some dumbbells or resistance to do this exercise. Again, a lot of these movements you can do without having any resistance. But if you have some resistance, some dumbbells, maybe some bigger soup cans, we're going to be talking about one of the things there's been a lot of you asking questions saying, Coach, if I go buy resistance, how much weight should I get? What dumbbells? One of the things we're talking to our folks about, if you want to buy maybe 1 or 2 dumbbells, one of the things you want to do is take a dumbbell and in the store, literally you can do shoulder presses. And if you can do 8 to 10 with that weight, that's a good weight to start with. You buy 1 or 2 of those dumbbells. The other thing what we tell folks is, grab a little bit heavier dumbbell. I'm going to bend over and I want to find a weight that I can row about 8 to 10 times. Because some of the exercises, like when we do our chest press, when we do our bent over row, I can use a little bit heavier dumbbell. When I go to my overhead press or my lateral raises, we can do single arm stuff, so it depends on cost. If you want to buy 2 sets, 2 sets, 1 set of a lighter dumbbell, 1 set of a heavier dumbbell. But to save money, I can buy 1 light dumbbell and 1 heavier dumbbell, because when we go through this stuff, you can modify and just use single arm. So we're going to get our warm-up in with Coach. She's going to get ready to go here. Make sure you get that good warm-up in. Make sure the joints get loosened up, ready to go. Then we got a little bit of a weight circuit to get our heart rate up. Then we're going to take you through the weight workout. Ready, Coach? We'll get you rocking and rolling here. So we're just going to start with that movement prep like we do. By now you should have this down unless you're a rookie joining us. Coach is doing 10 marches, high knee. So if you're a rookie to Elevation Nation, welcome aboard. If you're an old-time vet, you know you've been doing this now for a couple workouts. We're doing our high knees. Then I'm doing my reach and pull. This is where we want to get those shoulders loosened up, because when we go through this, we're going to get some shoulder work in. Coach is taking those arms, swinging up and through. As she brings her arms up and over, she's pushing through her hip complex to make sure she stretches out that hip flexor and her back. Then we're going to our arm rolls, arm circles, then our shoulder rolls. Coach is taking thumbs up. She's coming forward for 10. Then she's going to go backwards for 10. After the small circles, we want to go big circles. Again, if you have some type of shoulder issues, don't be scared, or don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to change your thumb position. My palms can be down, my palms can be forward. By changing your hand position is going to change where you're going to get the effect of that warm-up, so don't be scared to change that hand position. After here, what we're going to do is we're going to do our arm out and twist, rotate. Again, we always emphasize this, and I know it's like beating a dead horse, but I'm going to keep saying every time we do it, I want to make sure I'm lifting that backside heel, and I'm getting good rotation through the hips and shoulders. If you look at Coach's hand, she keeps those in mid-chest. She's not just moving her arms, she's letting the shoulders rotate and the hips turn and rotate. Right from here, we're going to go into our 10 jumping jacks. Again, I can start up nice and easy. I don't have to be real fast with this. What we want to try to do is start putting a little bit more dynamic load in those ankles, knees, and hips. Feel this through your shoulders and back. And then I'm just going to go down into my hip and torso.
Do this one here.
Oh, Coach, we cheated on that, our squat and arm reach. That was my bad. I jumped ahead on you. Coach knows this better than I do, and I have it written on a piece of paper. I'm doing my squats with arm reach. This one, what we're trying to do is make sure you drop those hips down. I'm trying to lower that level and center of gravity. Then we're just going to go our torso circles. Some of you probably are saying, hey, what about our squat and arm reach? Coach caught me on that one. I jumped ahead. That was my bad. So we're doing our hip torso circles, 10 each way. Then we'll go right into our dynamic warm-up. Remember, we can do this in place. If you have a little bit more room, you can actually move a little bit. This just gets right here, our circles coming through. Lower back loosened up, starts getting those hips. We spend a lot of time from our chest down to our knees. That's where we want to make sure we have good mobility. But I also then want to make sure I have good stability while I'm moving through those positions. Coach is going to go 10 each way. The extra 10 each way, she's just coming up and over. Bring that leg up forward 5 times. She's going to go 5 on the right side. Then she's going to go 5 on the left side. Again, our good goal is try to keep the hips level, keep the shoulders level. So I don't want, then she's going backwards. I don't want to get a higher knee lift by tipping, bending my shoulder, dropping my shoulders side to side. I want to keep my hips level when I'm doing this. I'm doing 5 backwards on the right side, then 5 backwards on the left side. From here, we're going to go to our inside toe tap. This is external hip rotation. We're going to go 5 each side. Then I'm doing an outside toe tap. This is internal hip rotation. Great job, coach. Want to make sure you take control. Everything's good and under control. Now I'm doing that backside toe grab lunge. Coach, can you turn this way just a little bit to show that separation? When coach grabs, see that separate? That's what we've been talking about a lot of times is we got to make sure that that heel gets pulled away, but she's still staying up nice, tall, and tight. She's not leaning over while she's doing it. So that's why that hand, we always ask that hand gets pointed to the ceiling. Use that hand, that arm as an indicator that if that's pointing straight up at the ceiling, you know you're probably in pretty good form. A bad position, you want to maybe show a bad one, coach, is that I'm doing that right there. Now, if you're trying to stretch out the, back and try to get the hamstring stretched a little bit, you can change it up. But what we're trying to do is get our hip flexor stretched out. By stretching that hip flexor, it helps relieve some pain in that lower back if your lower back maybe is tight. So we're just going to do 3 on each side from there. Then we're going to go to our knee grab, toe grab.
That 3?
I think it was 3. I didn't count, coach, because I'm talking too much. There we go. And again, gang, because this is recorded, if something's a little bit tight, and once you see how to do those, you can pause and you can do 5 or 6 reps of these. So like here, if your hamstrings are a little bit tight, don't be scared to take a little bit extra time here to get through and give a good stretch coming through. So I'm doing that knee grab, pulling it up. Then when I drop down, I'm giving a toe gas pedal, we call it, and then just a windshield wiper. Taking that foot just side to side a couple times. You're gonna feel that work through the hamstring, middle, side to side. That's why we change that foot position, and I'm reaching down with both hands. We're gonna do 3 each side. Then from our 3 each side, we're going to go into our world's greatest. There you go. Coach a little sore today. Been a long week. We've been putting the hammer to her this week. So she might take just a little bit extra time stretching. Hold the stretch for a little bit. There's my world's greatest. I'm stepping right. Right elbow to the ground. Rotate to the right. Then I'm doing right pigeon. Breathe out. Don't hold your breath while you're doing this. Sometimes you'll have a tendency when you go down into that lunge, you'll hold your breath and try to not breathe as you're going through. Make sure you have good air coming in. Breathe deep. Lay over the top. When I lay over the top, deep breath, blow the air out. Slow and controlled. All my movement wants to be slow and controlled. I don't have to take 20 seconds to do it, but I want to make sure as I go in, I want to hold that position for at least a count or 2. That gets my upper back, my thoracic spine, my hips, everything on that back side and even front side. That's why we call it world's greatest. You're getting a lot of things stretched out in that position. Just do 3, going to go 3 each side on this one. Then we're going to go to our alternating lateral lunge. Again, this will help stretch out the groin. We're going to do some movements today, some lateral movement type stuff too, so you want to make sure that you feel good doing it.
You want me to do another one?
You're good, coach. But hey, and like I say, gang, if something's tight there, do some extra. There we go. We're just alternating lateral, coming back together. Coach is dropping, pushing hips side to side. Again, gang, one of the things we've talked about it over and over. As I get into that position, watch where Coach's knee position is. As she pushes the leg and bends that leg, it's over the toe. It is over the toe. It's not going to get pushed out outside the knee, and it's not going to get pushed up in front of your toe. If you do that and your heel comes off the ground, it's because you're pushing your leg forward. Now we're going to go to what we call our leg swing series. This is just, I'm starting on my back. I'm keeping my legs straight. I'm going to go windshield wipers first. Out to the side, 10 right, 10 left. Again, this is just another movement to open that hip. I'm going to go 10 windshield wipers on the right side, 10 windshield wipers on the left side. Then after that, I'm going to do my kick over. So my left side, I'm gonna go, open that up. Again, as I rotate to the other side, try to think, I don't want that backside butt cheek to come off the ground. Good control as I'm moving my leg up and through. Again, you might only be able to go, 15, 18 inches out to the side. Once that hip starts rotating, that's all the farther you're gonna do right now. Now we're just doing kickovers. I always say, just think that you're punting a football. This is gonna stretch out through the hamstring, the calf, especially if you keep your toe pulled back in dorsiflexion. Think that you're gonna bring your toe towards your shin. I'm doing 10 on the right, 10 on the left. Then from here, I'm gonna swing over and get on my stomach, and we're doing our scorpion. Gonna do our scorpion work, taking my right arm, my left leg to my right arm, my right leg to my left arm. Just rotating side to side. I'm opening up through that hip, moving through that hip complex. Great job. I'm gonna go 10 each way. Then from the ground, we're gonna finish up. I'm gonna go into a 4-point, and I'm just gonna do my shoulder tap side to side to make sure those shoulders are loosened up. I know we did our shoulder circles earlier, but Coach is gonna be on all fours. She's keeping the back arm straight, almost like the lateral lunges. She's just dropping that shoulder down. If you're having tightness in the front part of your shoulder, go to your range of motion. Don't go to where you can't. We don't wanna cause injury, go to where you can. From here, we're gonna get a little bit of a break. Coach is gonna grab some dumbbells. Actually, she gets 10 each way. Great job, Coach. Great job at home. Way to push through. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do our Super 8. Okay, and what this is, it's an AMRAP. It's as many rounds as possible for as many as you can do in 8 minutes. Okay? So Coach is going to take a break, take a quick break, get a drink, grab some dumbbells. What we're doing, gang, is I'm going to go 8 squats. So make sure you go under control. I'm going to do a bent row. I'm going to do an overhead press. I'm doing curls. I'm doing kickbacks. And I'm going to do a straight-legged deadlift. Coach will show you these as we go. From there, I can take a break or I can move right into the next set. We have an 8-minute clock set. Again, before we start, gang, you go your pace. Coach is gonna probably move quicker than maybe you will. If you need to stop and take a break, what I always say is try to get through one round, take a break at the end of the round. So after the straight-legged deadlift, that's when you take your break. Try to push through the set before you take your break, so push yourself. When I hit the clock, we're gonna have 10 seconds. You ready, Coach? We're rock and rolling. So in 10 seconds, it'll go for 8 minutes. We're going to be counting 8 minutes to push yourself through. Your heart rate will get up. 3, 2, 1. We're rock and rolling. So I'm going to go 8 squats. You can see the clock is counting down. Going 8 squats. Again, think good technique and form. If your form starts to break down, then I'm going to go 8 rows. Keep your back flat on my 8 rows. From there, I'm doing 8 overhead shoulder press. As soon as I've done my shoulder, Coach is going full range of motion. I'm going to go to my curls. I'm doing 8 curls. Then I'm going to go to my 8 kickbacks. Then I'm going to go my straight-legged deadlift. On this straight-legged deadlift, remember, I am keeping my back flat and just pushing my butt back in through. I always say, if you drop those dumbbells, they should land on your shoelaces. Make sure they're not going to land 3-4 inches in front of your toes. Otherwise, I'm not pushing my hips back. From here, Coach is going to go right into the next set. It'll take her about a minute. So her goal, great goal for her, should be about 8 rounds. If you need to take a break, but if you want to stay with Coach, she's doing her 8 squats, back to her 8 rows, back to overhead press, to curls, to kickbacks, to straight-legged deadlift. This will get your heart rate up. You don't need to go outside and run. You can if you want to, but if you don't have a treadmill, you don't have a bike, you don't have something inside, the weather's cold. If the weather's warming up, it's great to get outside and go for a walk, go for a bike ride, go for a run. That's fantastic. But if you're inside, it's an evening, things start to slow down a little bit, this is a great circuit to be able to do. Again, you can go a 6-minute circuit. You might have only a short period of time. Right from here, coach is going to go right into her next set. Unless you want to take a break, coach. You good? Coach is good. And I can adjust the dumbbells I'm using. Sometimes we'll have folks that'll take, go 15-pound dumbbells. So if the sets get to be easy, the rounds get to be easy by bumping up the weights, it's going to be more challenging to us. Coach is rocking through. Way to work, everybody. We're working down to 5 minutes. We're almost 2 minutes into this. Great job. Way to get after it. Way to get after it. 5.5 minutes left to go. Find your pace, then push that pace just a little bit. Try to push that pace just a little bit. Coach is getting warmed up because she's picking her pace up. Compared to that first round, she's picking her pace up a little bit. So that first one took her about a minute. Now she's knocking these out in about 45, 50 seconds. So she's picking up a little bit. So 8 still is a good round level for her if she can beat 8. So if she was working and we're in a group, I'd be picking on her saying, Coach, shoot for 8. Try to get over 8, maybe even 9 reps if you can. If you get 9 rounds in, as many rounds as possible. What's great about this circuit, gang, is that you can come back a week, 2 weeks down the road. Let's say you get 6 rounds in. 2 weeks down the road, you come back to this and you get 8 rounds in. You know you're getting in a little bit better shape, or you do your 6 rounds, but instead of using 10-pound dumbbells, you're now using 15-pound dumbbells, which means you're getting more work done during that same time period, which again means you're getting in better shape. You're able to hand more workload. Great job, Coach. Great job. Coming up, you're at 4:30, 30 seconds. You're going to be halfway through. This is your 4th round, Coach?
I don't know.
I think so. I think you're on 4. Maybe that was 4. You're starting 5. So Coach is on a good pace. She finished 4 in less than half time. So she's on pace to get that 8 in. Again, if you need to take a little break here after this round, take a little bit of a break, or maybe you're taking one. That's fantastic. That's not a problem. Nice job. 2, 1. You're halfway there, Coach. Nice job. You're halfway there, gang. Keep working to push now. Get a breather. If you need a quick breather, don't take a full minute. Try to take about a 15 to 20 second, maybe a 30-second rest, then try to get back into the rotation. You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. Pushing through, pushing through. If after every round you need to take a 10, 15-second break, that's not a problem, because what you can do is come back later. You'll come back and, like I said, 2 weeks, 3 weeks down the road, just write this down somewhere, because you can come back to it. Put it in your notebook if you're keeping a log of what you're doing for a workout standpoint. Coach is working on number 6, I think, right now. This is round 6 she's rocking out. She's doing a fantastic job. We're coming up to 3 minutes. And I might be counting off too, because I'm talking a lot here. I think this is Coach's 6th round. Great job, Coach. 3 minutes left to go. Great work, great work, great work. You're 3 minutes. You got 3 minutes left to go. That heart rate's probably kicking a little bit now. Great job. Way to get after that. Coach, fantastic job. Fantastic job at home. Keep working to push yourself. Again, remember, if my form starts to break down on this, don't be scared to set the dumbbells down. You can still do the body movement with no resistance, or maybe grab a little bit lighter resistance. Great job. Great job, Coach. Coach is rocking number 7, I think. There you go. Great job. She's on pace. She'll get over 8. The pace she's going, she's going to get over 8 rounds, which is fantastic. This is great effort on her part. So if you're working to stay with her, great job at home. If you're pushing through to get to your 6th set, great job. Keep working to push. If you're getting 1 round in, we're just like me. We got to just keep working to get better every day. Great job. Great job. She's working on those kickbacks. From her kickback, she's going straight leg. 2 minutes. 2 minutes to go. Great job, Coach. Way to work. Coach is rocking this out right now. Like I said, sometimes when you get warmed up, you actually get more work in. Coach is working on round 8. She's on round 8 right here. Great job. She's knocking that out. She's kind of got a rhythm going. That's what, once you get into this, you'll get a little bit of a rhythm, feeling through how you're going to feel. Great job, Coach. That's a way to work right there. That's fantastic work right there. She's rocking and rolling. She's pushing. Stay with her now. Work to stay with her on this last round. You got less than a minute and a half of work. Hey, then we're going to take a good minute rest. Then we'll show you. We'll start showing you the exercise we're going to do. Nice job. Way to push it, Coach. Good job. Coming up to a minute. You got coming up to a minute. You got a minute, Coach. Over 8. This is going to be her 9th round, I believe, if I'm counting right. Nice job. Minute left. Minute left. There you go. Work to push. So now Coach's challenge is she's working on round 9. I think if she pushes though, she'll be able to get 9 rounds in. This is her 9th round. She's doing a fantastic job. She's rocking and rolling right now. She's even picking up the pace on this last one. She's doing a fantastic job. That's what you want to do. Work to push yourself now. You're coming up to 30 seconds. Nice job. Way to work. Way to work. 30 seconds to go, and you're at 30 right there. Coach has finished it through. She's even going to push into her 10th. She'll get started on her 10th. She won't probably get all the way through that one, but she's going to push to round 10. 20 seconds, Coach. 20 seconds. Great job. Coach can start working round 10. So what we'll do is we'll mark in her book, her training book, that she was at 9. Then we'll mark where she got. She has 10 seconds. So she's getting her squats and she'll mark in her book. She got 9 rounds and her squat done. Maybe she's done 3, 2, 1, and you're done. Great job, Coach. 9 rounds, she's working into 10. She should write down, completed 9, got my squats, and half of my bent over row in. Fantastic job. Hey, we're gonna take this minute. After this minute break, we're gonna go to our Bulgarian squats. We'll show you what that is, holding some dumbbells in her hand, but get a good break here. Walk around, shake it out just a little bit. So 30 seconds to go. Nice work. We're gonna give you a full 30, get some water, get a break. Then you'll actually be using your chair or your box, because all Bulgarian squat is you're gonna be doing a single leg squat. So we're gonna start in 15 seconds. We'll explain the exercise and demo this. We're gonna get rolling here in 5. We're gonna move over to the chair, so grab your dumbbells. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, here we go again. We move some stuff around just a little bit. What we're doing is our Bulgarian squat. So what we're gonna look to do is Coach is putting her leg back behind. Our goal right here is, you can see we're doing 3 sets of 12 here. Again, modify if you need to. But you can look at Coach. I want you to look at that back knee and her front knee. As she goes down, she's literally just dropping that back knee down to the ground. She's not pushing the knee forward. Coach, you wanted your first 2 reps, kind of do a bad one on this side. We're doing 12. Here, so here's the problem. See where Coach movement? She's not moving through her hips. That's all knee. That's going to make your knees be sore. Right here is that back knee should bend. I should be dropping my hips down. And look, it's great form. If I took a picture and took from her shoulder down to her arms to the dumbbell, those dumbbells, if she dropped the dumbbells right now, they would fall and drop behind that front heel. So I'm not leaning forward. I'm not gonna lean and let my body drop forward. She's just gonna take a break because we're doing 12 on the right side, 12 on the left side. We're gonna take between a 15 to 20 second break. If you need to take a little bit more, again, take a little bit more of a break. We're gonna take just a little bit extra break than we normally do. I know Coach rock and rolls it. We've had some folks say, man, I can't stay with Coach. Hey, so we're gonna start. Yeah, she's been doing this for a while. So in 5 seconds, we're gonna go our second set. Here we go, this is second round. We're doing 3 sets or 3 rounds of this. Great job. Again, great form. You find a way. This is an exercise too, gang. If you don't want to use any resistance, you can. If for whatever reason you feel unsafe or don't have very good balance, I can go 3 sets. I can do 3 sets of 12 split squat. I can just go a split squat where I would take that foot and put it back on the ground. Okay, so you don't have to put your leg up on that chair. Instead of doing a Bulgarian squat, which is that single leg, we're getting more single leg work. I could do a split squat. Coach will set the weight down. Coach, can you just turn and just do 1 split squat? So this would be what I would do to modify. Right there. Thank you, Coach. Right, so that'd be my modification. She didn't use any weights. She doesn't have to have her foot up on the bench. So if you're worried a little bit about maybe control, balance, maybe a little core control, That's not a problem. You can do just literally a split squat and do that unloaded, or I can do a split squat with weights in my hand. We're gonna go one more set. You ready? Yep, 5 seconds. Here we go again. If you need to take a little bit extra time, big thing is here is maintaining good technique, good form. Great job, coach. Great job. She's breathing. I don't know if you can tell from here. I can just watch. She's not gritting her teeth. She's not bearing down. You can be tight. And what I tell folks is if you need to hold your breath as you go down, hold your breath. When you come back up, breathe, hold the breath, then go back down and do another one. Great job, coach. Fantastic job. Fantastic, good work. This is our third set. From here, we're going to get on the floor, or we're also going to show the stability ball press to fly. Great job, coach. Okay, here we are again for the next exercise. What we're doing is we're going to start on the floor for the first one. I'm doing a one-arm press to a fly. So what Coach is pressing out. She's going to press, rotate her hand. So if you watch what she's doing, she's going palm down, palm in. So from that position, she's going to do a press. That forearm or that upper arm, elbow is going to touch. Then I'm going to go from the fly position. Open up through the fly. So her hands, she's rotating her hand. If you look at that hand rotation. So you're going to get some shoulder work in there, a little bit of rotator cuff, a little bit of shoulder work, because I'm changing that hand position as I go. She's going to do 12 on her right side, 12 on her left side. Then the second set, gang, we're actually going to show if you would have a stability ball at home. I can use a stability ball like a bench. If you don't have one, it's no worries. I can do that on the floor. We're doing single arm because what you're going to find out from doing a single arm instead of a two arm is I have to use a little bit more core and stability on how I'm doing this and setting things up. I'm bouncing the camera around a little bit. I want to even it out. There you go. Big thing here is good control. On the floor too, one of the things we talked about is coach has her leg bent. She's pushing her back into the floor. I don't want to bend and really arch my back and put a lot of lower pressure on my lower back. Think body control. I want good body control while I'm doing this. Good job, coach. She's pressing, rotating that hand. So I just say, think palm in when I'm doing the fly, thumb in to palm in. Thumb in on my press, palm in on my fly. She did 12 there. She's going to take a little bit of a break. On the next one, gang, what you can do, we're going to use the stability ball. Couple things to think about here, okay? On a stability ball, it takes a lot more balance and coordination. So for the second round, coach is actually going to do 2 dumbbells, because 2 dumbbells, you're going to be, I think, feel a little bit more comfortable with balance and control. But she's still going to do now her press, rotate to her fly, press, rotate to the fly. Make sure this is, you want to make sure you have good body control. If you're having a hard time on the ball, you might want to do just some movement with no weights in your hand. If you ever feel uncomfortable or you start coming off of the ball, I tell folks, drop and throw the dumbbells away as far as you can. You're really not going to go that far, but the big key is here, if you think you're going off the ball, you don't want those dumbbells, even a 5-pound or an 8-pound dumbbell landing on top of you. So coach is going to go here. She's doing 2 arms at the same time. I could do 2 arms on the floor if I wanted to. Remember, again, 1 arm takes a little bit more control, a little bit more balance. You're going to get a little bit more core work. On the third set, coach is going to use 1 dumbbell and do it on the stability ball. So I'm going to just take a quick little break. She's getting a drink. When I come back, she'll do her single arm again, but this time she's using single arm on the stability ball. And even watch coach when she's doing it, the movement and what she has to do to stabilize her core. If you can't see it on the video, just understand, by me changing up to go from a 2 arm to a 1 arm is going to be more complex. Yeah, great point coach made. Remember, the wider my feet, the wider my base, the more stability I have. So if I want to make this exercise harder without changing the weights, I can bring my feet in closer together. So now when coach has her feet close together, and she does a great job with this, but you're going to really feel that that takes a lot more core stability. And remember, again, we talk about our core is not just around my belly button. It's all the way from my chest down to my knees. So another thing coach is doing here is she's making sure she's keeping her hips up, right? That's one of the reasons we like this stability ball is by changing my hip level position, I can change my angle. And actually off of a stability ball, we can do an incline dumbbell press too. But she's just going 12 on the right side. Again, thumb in, palm in. Yep, there we go. She's going to switch and turn. So watch again, gang. Thumb's going to be in. She's going to rotate, palm in. Thumb in. She rotates that arm, but she keeps good control. She also, if you can see and look, she's not bending that arm on the fly. She messed up on that. There you go. Keeping that arm, she has a slight bend in that elbow, but it's not a press out, so that arm stays pretty straight and pretty flat from that position. So we showed modification. I could do it for single arm from the floor. We didn't show that one, but I can do 2 arms from the floor, 2 arms on a stability ball if you have a stability ball, and 1 arm on the stability ball if you have a stability ball. So modify with what you want to do. You could probably use more weight if you have a set of dumbbells or a set type of dumbbell that you can change the weights. I can usually go heavier from the floor than the stability ball. We're going to just take a quick break, come back, and show you what we're going to do for our shoulders. Okay, gang, we're back. And I know I said shoulder because I forgot what we're going to go is. This will work a little shoulder, but it's going to also work our back. We're going to go to a plank with a 1-arm row. First time we're coaching, so we're just going in that plank position, good plank position. What coach is doing here, she's reaching across, think underneath that opposite armpit. That allows me to extend my arm fully, but watch when coach pulls, that elbow is coming back past her back. If this, and we'll show you how to modify this, because sometimes folks will say, see where that dumbbell's coming through? You can almost see it's coming almost even with her hand. She's not letting the hips rotate. You'll get a little bit of shoulder rotation because of the reach, which is fine, but she's pulling that elbow back and through. I have to get my scapula, my back to move, okay? So there's our first set. If that's hard, and a lot of times we'll have some of our folks say, man, that kills my wrist or my shoulders just aren't strong enough. The second round, we're gonna go plank from the chair. So I'm just changing my angle, okay? So she's gonna be planking from the chair. Again, if you need to take a little bit longer break, you can. Coach is getting into this. She's pulling down and through. And bracing from and holding the chair by changing that angle. That's going to take a little bit of stress off the wrist. It'll take some stress off the shoulder joint if you're having a hard time with that. I'm doing 12 each side. Again, make sure I'm keeping my core stable, able to handle that going through. Great job, coach. So just a way to modify, I can change the weight that I'm doing if I need to. And again, if you would have any type of issues, wrist, shoulder, the last one we're going to do, we're just going to go into a tripod hold. I'm just going to literally bend over and hold. So if you would have some type of shoulder, wrist issues, the last one we're going to do, coach is just going to get into a split stance. She's putting that opposite hand down on her knee, and now I'm going to go just roll from that position. There we go. So if you can't get into that plank position for whatever, maybe your core strength is an issue, maybe shoulder's an issue, maybe the wrist, some type of wrist is going to be an issue. This is how I modify. Floor is going to give you a lot of work because it's going to get the core in as well as working the back and the shoulders. That chair plank is going to take a little bit of stress off, and that right there would take a lot of stress off the joints. So there's 3 modifications that you could do on your plank rows. We're back next with our shoulders. Gang, our next exercise, what we're going to do is we're going to go lateral to front dumbbell raise, single arm. So as coach is moving through, she's bringing it down up to shoulder height, back down to hip pocket. Again, we're getting some shoulder rotation. So today on the things that we're doing, you're going to feel this through your shoulders, even though this has really been the only isolation on the shoulder exercise because of the rotation that we're getting in. So coach is doing a lateral raise. You can see she's getting good control on the front. and to the side on the things that she's doing. She's not throwing her hips, not using her hips to get the weight up. I want to use that shoulder, so she's locking her core in as she's doing the lift coming through. Everything we do, gang, we control the weight. We do not let the weight control us. Okay? So make sure everything's good control on what we're doing. I don't want to go forward and back. I don't want to flex and extend my back. I also, when I'm coming out to the side, I don't want to tip. You want to show a kind of a bad form one, Coach? So if I'm lifting from that way, right there you can see Coach isn't even lifting really through her arms. She's lifting through that core and rocking back and forth. That's way too much weight. So we do not want to do that. I can actually, and what Coach will show you here, again, if you're having trouble with stability, we're going to go 2-arm. So we're going to show this using both arms for our second round. Again, she's just coming up to that lateral raise, down under control, to front raise. Now here's the thing, gang, we teach, and this is just one of the things that, from my point of view as a coach, we don't come all the way overhead, because what we think is a lot of times, if I come over my head and I start bringing that weight down, it can put undue stress on that shoulder joint. So we'll do shoulder press and do some other things through that range of motion, but I want to make sure we're not going to bring it over our forehead on that. So just good control. Everything we're doing is great control. The last set, again, Coach is going to come.
And your regular weight might be too heavy because your shoulders get a little bit sore from this. So you might have to go to your soup cans maybe.
Yeah, maybe a soup can, or if you were using a big bean can, go down to a soup can. Or you can do it even without using resistance at all. The thing is, when you get to the top, pause and give a good hard squeeze of the shoulder. Bring it down. When I bring it to the front, give a good hard squeeze of the shoulder in the front position too. So I could do this without using resistance. Carol Sue, my mom, if she's watching, my mom's 83 years old, she's starting to do some of these exercises. She's saying, well, I don't use much weight. She only uses maybe 1-pound dumbbells. That's fine. So we have everybody from some of our athletes are following along to my mom's following along. So we appreciate her joining. We appreciate all you guys joining in, following through. Again, if there's something you want to see, let us know what you're looking for, because we can modify programs and show our modifications. If there's something you're trying to do and it's hard to do, just let us know, because we'll show modifications on how to do it. Great job, Coach. Great job at home. Get a quick little break here, and then we're going to come back and show our split squat curls. Okay, gang, here we are. We're doing a split stance bicep curl. So Coach just went into, remember when we were doing our Bulgarian squat at the beginning? We showed that split squat position. Coach just did her split squat position, doing her curl from there. So what we're doing is we're getting some bicep work in. You're going to feel that she does a great job with stabilizing through her core. This is going to put a burn on the legs right here. This is kind of like a finisher right here, we'd call it, for the legs. Coach is about 4 to 6 inches, her knees off the ground. She's got great position. Legs at 90 degrees, backside's about 90 degrees. She's keeping her shoulders back, working through in this position from here, doing her curls. When the weight's in my left arm, my right leg is forward in my split position. When it's in my right arm, my left leg is forward. When it's in my left arm, my right leg is forward. I can also, if stability is an issue, Coach is grabbing 2 dumbbells. I'm going to change my split position. The reason this is a little bit harder is that leg might be in the way just a little bit, but she's just going to split squat, and now she's curling up and through. Having 2 dumbbells is just going to help you maintain your balance and control just a little bit more than if I just have that 1 dumbbell. Anytime I'm going to do one side or split stance or single leg stance, it really changes things up a lot. But Coach does a great job, again, of keeping her shoulders back. So if I drew a line between down, if we took a picture through her ear, her shoulder, her hip, and through that knee, it's a pretty good straight line coming through. So that's where my power angles are coming from. Great job, Coach. So that's just a modification right there. Remember, if I needed to, I could stand up if your legs are really, really burning. Coach is going to finish the last one in a split squat position. But if you needed to, you could stand up and do a single arm curl, or stand up and do a 2-arm curl. So that's just a modification of how to do it.
Ready?
Yep. Last round, she's going back into that split position. Left leg is forward. She's curling with her right arm. Again, gang, don't be scared to modify for your level. We talk about that all the time. That's why with our boot camp, we can have a full range of different fitness levels, full range of people from young kids to our older folks, mature folks, I'll say, because I'm one of those older folks, mature folks able to take part in the boot camp program. That's the same thing here. You don't have to stay with anybody. You just got to make sure you get better. And that's what you're here doing, getting better. Great job, Coach. Fantastic work.
Woo, I felt burn.
You got a burn there. We'll take a quick break. We'll show the next exercise. So gang, we're here. What we're going to do now is we're going to take you through our rotator cuff series. We literally have these hung in different places around the gym when we do our rotator cuff series for a lot of our throw athletes. But what it is, there's 12 different exercises. We're going to do 10 reps of each on what we're doing. We're doing 10 reps, so you literally end up doing 120 reps, which is going to get a pretty good burn on your shoulders. So we got Coach ready to go. On this exercise, gang, listen up. You might want to go a little bit lighter weight than you normally would, because this will get you pretty good. So Coach is just doing 10 each arm, overhead shoulder press. 10 each arm. Then we're going right to the next exercise, and what she's doing is, it's just like a curl, but instead of coming up, right arm to right shoulder, I'm taking that right arm and coming up to my left shoulder. So I'm coming across, almost think you're doing a shoulder tap with that weight, with the middle of the weight, I'm doing a shoulder tap. From here, we're gonna go overhead extensions.
Reach to the wall behind you.
But if you look, this is a little bit different than what we'd normally do on a tricep extension. Coach isn't just taking it up to the ceiling, she's working back towards up and back to the wall. So I say, think you're gonna take it to the crease in the wall and the ceiling is what you wanna do. From here, we're doing straight arm, coming across, my palm is down, and Coach is keeping her arms as straight as possible as she's coming up and across. Again, we're doing 10 each arm, so this is exercise number 4. 10 of each side. Good control as I'm coming through. This will give you a burn. This will get a burn going on you pretty good. From there, I'm going to go with my thumbs up, and I'm reaching back over as high as I can, but I'm keeping my thumbs. Think my thumbs are up the whole time. I'm not rotating here. We'll come to some of these exercises where we'll actually get good rotation. But I'm pushing my shoulders back and through. Again, for Coach to get more range of motion, she's not arching her back to get range of motion back. She's getting more shoulders. She's pushing through backside on her shoulders to get that reach coming back and through. From here, we're going to do what we call is lateral raise to pour out the pitcher. I say, if you had a pitcher of water in your hand, dump that water all the way out. My thumbs should be down, so my palms are together. But at the top of my lift, my palms are down as I'm bringing up and through. Palms are down, thumbs are down, palms are together, thumbs are down. We're doing that for 10.
Shoulders are back.
Good position, good control. Now I'm coming all the way over. See how Coach is getting rotation, so my dumbbells are together at the bottom. She's getting rotation, and they're coming back together at the top. So when I come back to the top, my knuckles aren't hitting together. Again, think the palm of my hands are coming together like I'm doing an overhead clap. I'm clapping down in front of my waist, and I'm clapping up at the top.
This is a tough one.
This is a tough one because my arms you're gonna get that rotation from my shoulders. Number 8 we're gonna do is we're doing just bent over row.
Oh, good job.
Good work, nice job. That'll get a burn right there, gang. Now when Coach is rotating, she's really getting almost a little bit of a twist to get overemphasis on that backside shoulder work. Again, I'm doing 10 on each arm. This is exercise number 8. You're gonna start feeling a burn here because we got 12 exercises, 10 of each. Like I say, you're getting a lot of work in through that shoulder complex. So you do not need to go heavy. The next one on the piece of paper, when you look at number 9, normally you would keep your head up along the wall. We don't have Coach there. Thumbs should be pointed in together. There you go, right that way. And the reason we normally put somebody's head along the wall is because we don't want to be using our lower back in this position. Shoulders are starting to get shot, so we start trying to find ways to cheat. Coach does a great job, but if you want to, what you can do is put your head up along the wall, which gets you in a good position. The next one is I'm bringing my arms to 90 degrees. I always say if there was a shelf, you're just tapping your knuckles on the bottom side of the shelf. We're to keep those elbows up.
shoulders are tired.
Coach is getting tired. Then I'm going to slap the top. So I'm taking my knuckles, I'm slapping the top of the shelf. The first one was I'm slapping the bottom. This one I'm slapping the top. And then the next one is I'm just doing inside curls. We call them cowboy curls. A lot of times when we go cowboy, we'll go lower, but we're keeping our shoulders up from this position. And this is our rotator cuff series. If you have any type of rotator cuff issues, great exercises, go. 12 exercises, 10 reps of each. Great job. Great job, gang. You're rocking and rolling right here. Next one, we're exercising. We're going to do a little combo. We're going to bridge. I'm going to take those dumbbells. I'm going to hold straight up. My dumbbells should not move. During this part of it, what coach is doing, she's doing 10 bridges. I don't want those dumbbells to move when I'm going into my bridge position. I should stay up nice, tall, and tight. Don't let those dumbbells move side to side. Great job. On the 10th one, I'm keeping my hips locked up and in, and I'm just going to go to my pullovers. Great job, coach. We're doing 3 rounds of this. Great job. Really the only way on this one to modify would be is I'm just going to do my bridges, then I could grab my dumbbells and I could keep my hips down. Then what it would do is give you almost 2 different type of exercise. What we want to do is we want to get a little bit of this combo in because it's really going to isolate and you're going to really work that core as you're getting into it. So we want to really isolate on that core, get that core work in.
Ready?
Second round. So I'm holding that nice, tall, and tight. Great job. So again, coach pushing through her heels, toes are up. She's not just flipping her hips up and down. She's pushing her knees away. She's pushing her shoulders into the floor mat. I want to lift and long as I'm coming up and not just flop my hips. On that pullover, if you look at, again, drawing a line from the knee through the hips to the shoulders, there's a straight line there. I shouldn't have a dip. I don't want to have a C or an inverted C, backward C. She keeps her hips up. She's breathing while she's doing this. She's going back and touching the floor, almost touching the floor, keeping tension. The pullovers, you're working your back again. That's a lat exercise that you're pulling coming up over the top. We got one more round of this. Great job. Great work. We're ready to rock and roll. Again, gang, we're pushing through these pretty fast, pretty hard. And I know it's all together. But if you need to take a break in between. Like I say, you could just literally hit the pause button. Once you see the exercise and kind of got your pattern down, your modification down, you can fast forward it, go back to look at it, pause it while you're taking a little bit of a break. This third round right here, coach doing that pullover. Again, great lat exercise, but while she's also getting that good core work in. And what we always talk about is we train movement, not just muscle. So while I'm doing my pullovers, normally when I'm pulling on something, my core has to be tight to stabilize. My hips have to be stabilized. Great job, coach. Got a couple more things to do, and we'll get this wrapped up. So here we go, gang. Last exercise, and we'll show some stretch at the end. But we're doing just a dead bug. And what the dead bug is, I'm going to alternate right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg. The goal here is when my right arm and left leg move, my left arm and right leg should stay in position. I bring both those up before the other opposite move. A lot of times you'll see somebody almost do like a runner. You'll see them doing that. That's not what we want to do, because what we're looking to do is be mobile on one side while the other side is stable. So think as we lift things. A lot of times back issues aren't because of what we're lifting load-wise. Back issues are because of what we're doing from the sequence of how the muscles fire. So this helps with that. Hey, we're doing 20 total. Coach did 10 on each side. Second round here, I'm going to show a modification. I'm going to have coach show a modification of what to be able to do. So maybe you have some tight hips, maybe lower back issues. Folks are like, well, I can't do the dead bug because this really hurts my back. What we're going to do, are you ready, coach? You okay? Yeah, we're going to go second round. She's just bending her legs. And what she's doing is, again, we're just shortening the lever arm, gang. Think long levers take a little bit more force to work through. So what she's doing here is keeping that leg bent. But again, the timing is the thing. The leg and arm are moving. The other ones stay locked and stable as she moves through that position. I'm doing a total of 20. We're doing 2 sets of 20, 10 each leg. I know some folks like to use dumbbells. Unless you can get really good at doing your straight-legged pullover, a lot of times folks will be doing this for a while before we let them use any type of weight at all. So that's our dead bug series. We did 2 sets of 20. We'll finish up with showing a couple stretches. So gang, to finish up, we just want to show a couple stretches. Like a lot of times what we'll do is we'll grab different combos of some of these exercises to change them up. But here's a great exercise we're going to do to stretch out the upper hamstring. You're going to feel this way up into the groin and upper hamstring. Coach just has her left leg tucked back and her right leg tucked into her left. She's coming down over the top of that knee. And Coach actually has pretty tight hamstrings. And now what she's doing from that right knee, she's trying to work her way over to that left knee as far as she can. When she finds her tight spot, she's just going to hold that for a slow count of 15 to 20 seconds. Breathe out and hold that position. When you get in that position, you're going to feel a stretch way into that upper hamstring. Even into your butt, and this will get your back stretched out too. She'll hold for about 15-20 seconds, and of course we're just going to switch to the other side. So I'm going to tuck that left knee in, right knee back. That foot's just on my thigh. She's coming down over that left leg, coming over through. Once she finds her tight spot, she's holding for that. Some of our real flexible, some of our gymnast gal can literally lay their nose over that other knee. Most of us probably aren't going to be that flexible, but we want to work to that position. Coach is breathing out, holding that position again for slow 15 to 20 count. Get those hamstrings stretched out. We did a lot of split stance stuff. Then what we're going to show on our last one is, we did the clam the last couple times. If you've been watching and following us along, you just want to show 2 clams, Coach, and we'll show them modified. So the clam is just right here. I'm just taking that arm over. My knees are bent at 90. And I'm just open that arm, keeping my knees together. What we're going to do now is we're doing a half moon. Then we're going to close. What Coach is doing is just dragging her knuckles on the ground over her head. We're going to keep the knee together, come back over, close it. We call this the half moon. Just making a half circle. When my arm gets over to that straight out position, I'm just going to close the clam. I'm doing 10 each way. This again gets through now through our shoulder and our thoracic spine, working it together. I'm going to do 10 on my right arm, left arm. Then I'm going to flip over on the other side. I normally could just flip. I'm going to have Coach flip her head to the other side so you can see what she's doing. And if you watch, I can tell Coach's leg will come just a little part, so she's a little bit tight. And I know she is today because we did a lot of back stuff. So this is a great one to finish. That's why we finish up with this one. Come back and through. Don't hit those weights, Coach. Be careful. Those weights behind your head. Coach is just coming up over the top, closing. Great job. This side's a little bit more, she has a little bit more mobility on this side. The reason we can just tell is she's able to keep her knees together a little bit better on this side. It's not a good or bad. And we're like, oh, that's bad. No, it's not good or bad. It's just usually one side's going to be a little bit tighter than the other. Just like when we do resistance training, one side a lot of times is going to be stronger than the other. Way to keep healthy is we want to try to keep as good a symmetry as we can, and strength and mobility, flexibility on both sides as best as we can. Great job today, gang. Thanks to Coach Renette for rocking this out. Again, this is resistance program number 2. We have number 1 up on YouTube too. So just follow along. You can grab one of these. We'll add some more later in this week. Great job, gang. Way to work it. Make it a great week.